money to be able to support work and to be able to get people out there to be able to enjoy it and, you know, see all the work that's going on and hopefully see conservation in action. So that was trying to improve the runway, the airstrip, which was some really good work that Jenny and Grant, particularly, and Fryn worked on last year. Solar panels are underway, hard work from Tim and others to do the foundations for that. Various maintenance and infrastructure, if any of you have been there recently, in terms of the work that we've been doing on Old Main House and others. And then looking at restoration longer term. So yes, Mike, I think is that you there? Well, it looks like a great job in the snow. In terms of looking at, you know, what's the next steps of how one would go about a restoration project and thinking about eradication and what would be. So this work was, I don't know, Mike, you wanted to say what you were doing there? Sorry, I haven't primed you for this.
It was a first look, wasn't it, at the at Ross's project when he went out there first time in the winter. With a couple of guests, one from the RSPB in the UK and a chap from New Zealand who'd worked on the Gulf Island eradication. Just really interesting conversations the entire week, in between lots of field work. Just kind of seeing what took what date.
Yeah, no, really interesting, wasn't it? And you, those of you who've seen it, using all the luminous, who did luminous poos, which I think is a brilliant game.
Oh, yeah.
The spot that it was
inert bait.
So this was non-toxic bait.
Yeah.
And this was looking at which of the non-target species are likely to take that bait. So that was those. Yes. So looking at who and what. I mean, everyone thinks most things were taking it in some degree. So yes, that's the first stage, is a sort of understanding how who and what would take bait if it were put down, and. So yes, basically there's, I guess the picture I'm keen to portray is that across the islands we all have our challenges in terms of we have different ways in which we're trying to manage land, whether that's putting it under different forms of protection, but overall I think we all recognise that restoration is really key, and restoration has a number of different labels, whether that's taking away invasives, whether that's putting things in the ground. Overall, it's trying to build the strength and the health of our land in the fact that we have other pressures from outside. So that's really all I wanted to say. I wanted to really show a little bit of the work that we're doing on our land and our land stewardship. It's not to say that we're taking the right steps. We're not saying that what we do is going to work. But I guess we're showing that we are committed to doing the best we can, to looking at what does work and what doesn't, supporting others who are trying different methods, and we're in it for the long term. And so I'd like to finish, as I said, as I started, with thanking everyone who has supported us. Spring Creek Conservation have been a long-term supporter now in terms of particular core roles for us, which has been absolutely fabulous because it's meant we can continue our restoration between other projects, even if we haven't got specific funding for that. So it's one of those, and we're hoping that they're going to be able to come over and do some other work with us, but it's a great long-term commitment. But we'd like to, Howard, what have I forgotten?
I was just going to say actually that in the UK, with next year's bird fair, actually we've asked for a presentation slot because we're very keen on pushing this message about restoration. Actually, the presentation we want to give is something broadly similar to this about the island restoration, so that we can talk about this with the wider international community of birding and really push the message.
Great. No, that's great. No, and thank you for the work you do all.
Can I just say, we went to a Chamber of Commerce thing where Yaus did a wonderful presentation about Georgia seafood. Sorry?
Here.
It was here, yeah, you know, you did it here.
Yeah.
It was wonderful, actually, and a way, you know, a lovely presentation that would hopefully would encourage other companies to take a similar sort of approach to restoring habitats in the Falklands. It was really great, fantastic to see, and really good that local businesses are getting really involved in the environment. And
Absolutely.
And I know Yaus has been a long-term supporter, above and beyond that. But you know, it's nice to see a company actually embracing what we're trying to do.
Very much so. Yeah. No, Yosis and you know his team. You know, they get out there and they're planting with us.
It's actually the volunteers.
Oh no, but it's everybody together. Yeah.
70 or so volunteers.
Wow.
And you find that the same on Motley Island.
Yeah.
Yes, we do a bit of funding, but
Yeah.
and of course we organise. But actually, the 70 volunteers.
Yes,
that
in
makes
a small
difference.
population, 70 volunteers is not easy to come
That's
by,
great.
is it?
Yeah.
It's really not. Absolutely. Yes, so really just to say thank you all. Lovely to see all of you from different parts of our Falklands conservation family here. So really appreciate the continued support, and well done everybody for getting this far. It's been a good year. It's been a hard year in many ways, but it's also been a good year. We've achieved a lot of good conservation on the ground, which is our overall aim, and all the ups and downs make it worth it. So thank you very much, everybody.
Can you say anything about trends in bird counts? Albatrosses, penguins?
Can we say anything about trends in?
Well,
Have you just chosen my specialist
There's
subject?
a right person not here.
None of the right people for a trend in bird counts would be. What can we summarise for you this year?
That's okay.
What did we learn on our?
I'll read the magazine.
When's the report out?
There are reports.
Yeah, there are reports.
Yeah.
It's a couple months back.
It's a couple months back.
Yeah,
The
we
kings,
checked
Yeah.
kings are
So they was
increasing.
the rest.
Kings are
Follow-up.
increasing. Rockhoppers are still not doing great. Who else
Rest
have we
kind of
got?
up and down, aren't they?
The rest are pretty much up and down. Yeah.
The albatross was stable, is that right?
Yeah.
Seems to
I
be-
think they were pretty stable.
Yeah, just very stable. Off the top of my head.
We're going to get access onto Keppel to find out. Apparently Keppel has now got new rules. Will we be able to get access onto Keppel?
I
Survey work there.
would. I don't know. I don't know what their plans are yet. I don't know. Yes, I don't know. We'd have to. I don't know what is planned in terms of bringing any other sites in at the moment. But yes, I don't know what that plan would be on that.
What are the next steps from you on them? Because you've had, I suppose, the trials with the debate. What's sort of your next sort of shorter term?
Yes, so we've been, so at the moment we're looking at, we've done those trials, so the next stage is continuing with looking at mitigation for those species, the non-target species. So that's currently what Ross is doing. This project is all about looking at that, so looking at all the different options you have in terms of aviaries and aviculture, vets involvement, and flipping wings, feeding elsewhere. So yeah, he's basically talking to everybody to understand the different sensitivities and points to bear in mind. So our next stage is open to trying to work through all those points until end of this year. Yes, the end of this coming year, I think, 2023. Yeah, so a lot of work in terms of everyone's got a view and an interest. So we're working through those as best we can to kind of fully understand the picture, and working through all the reports, the scientific reports of you know, what is and was and has happened, and sort of trying to build up the fullest picture we can in terms of what the sort of trajectory that different species have had on New Ireland, what's been the impacts of that, what are the things that have and haven't worked. So yeah, it's a really big body of work that we're trying to do at the moment. So